For decades, many authors and researchers have been inspired by the idea that the human race was created by ancient aliens, and while mainstream science believes this is just ridiculous, countless pieces of evidence have been found across the globe that back up the ancient alien theory. Perhaps the most important connection between the rise of civilization and alien beings can be found in history. Written ancient manuscripts and clay tablets that have survived for thousands of years. For example, the ancient Sumerian king list, which describes kings who ruled over Earth for a total of 241,200 years since the original kingship had descended from heaven. The clay tablet of this unique text is 4,000 years old and was found by German-American scholar Hermann Hilprecht at the beginning of the 20th century. Hilprecht found at least 18 such cuneiform tablets c. 2017 to 1794 BC. They were not identical, but shared the information that is believed to have been taken from a single source of Sumerian history. There are more than a dozen of copies of the Sumerian king list found in Babylon, Susa, and Assyria, and the Royal Library of Nineveh from the 7th century BC. Unfortunately, mainstream scholars refuse to believe that everything written down on the Sumerian king list is real, saying that the list is a mixture of prehistorical and mythological accounts which speaks of gods that ruled over the land, enjoying implausibly lengthy reigns. If we look at other ancient cultures, such as Mesoamerican, we will find how the sacred book of the ancient Maya, the Popol Vuh, describes the beings that created the mankind. According to Living Maya Time, the Popol Vuh, meaning Book of the Community, narrates the Maya creation account, the tales of the hero twins, and the Quiche genealogies and land rights. In this story, the creators, Heart of Sky, and 6 other deities, including the feathered serpent, wanted to create human beings with hearts and minds who could keep the days. But their first attempts failed. When these deities finally created humans out of yellow and white corn who could talk, they were satisfied. In another epic cycle of the story, the Death Lords of the Underworld summoned the hero twins to play a momentous ball game where the twins defeat their opponents. The twins rose into the heavens and became the sun and the moon. Through their actions, the hero twins prepared the way for the planting of corn, for human beings to live on Earth, and for the fourth creation of the Maya. And while these above-mentioned ancient texts are extraordinary, perhaps even more are the countless artifacts that have been found scattered across the globe, depicting beings eerily similar to modern-day astronauts. And while speaking of astronauts, Al Worden, former astronaut and member of the Apollo 15 mission, had something fascinating to say about alien life. While speaking in an interview with Good Morning Britain, he gave a shocking response when a host asked why to spend a lot of money on space missions when there are lots of problems on Earth. He was asked if he believed aliens were real. The answer probably surprised everyone watching the interview. The former Apollo 15 member said that not only were aliens real, but they had come to Earth in the distant and created our civilization. And if we wanted to look for evidence, all we had to do was to look at ancient Sumerian literature. We are the aliens, but we just think they are somebody else. But we are the ones who came from somewhere else, because somebody else had to survive. And they got into little spacecraft. Then they came here and landed. And they started civilization here. And if you don't believe me, go get books on ancient Sumerians and see what they had to say. They'll tell you right up front. Worden added. He died on March 18, 2020. According to his words, he was the firm believer of the ancient Sumerian scriptures. They reveal that humans and gods used to live together, while humans were servants to gods, and each Sumerian city was guarded by its own god. The earliest record of a Sumerian creation myth can be found in a tablet excavated in Nippur, an ancient Sumerian city in Mesopotamia, in 1893. According to the cuneiform tablets, Earth was ruled by human-like gods at the beginning. When they arrived on Earth, they made it habitable by toiling the soil and mining the minerals. Besides, the text mentioned the revolt between the gods and their laborers. When the gods-like men bore the work and suffered the toll, the toil of the gods was great. The work was heavy. The distress was. It is said before humans, The Anunnaki, a group of deities of the ancient Sumerians, Akkadians, Assyrians, and Babylonians, used the Ijajai, sometimes also spelled Igigu, the young generation of ancient astronaut gods, as their servants to mine gold on Earth. But later, they were replaced by humans when they rebelled against the Anunnaki. For the ancient Mesopotamians, heaven is divided into 3 domes. The lowest dome of heaven was the home of the stars, and the middle dome was the home of the Ijajai, the younger gods. The highest and outermost dome of heaven was personified as An, the god of the sky. Supporting Worden statement, Dr. Ellis Silver, an author of the book, Humans Are Not From Earth, a scientific evaluation of the evidence, has a strong belief that life on Earth was sparked by aliens thousands of years ago. According to him, humans should have become the strongest race in the universe. But the mortal body failed to thrive in the Earth's environment. It can easily be harmed by sunlight, natural disasters, and diseases. He said, mankind is supposedly the most highly developed species on the planet, yet is surprisingly unsuited and ill-equipped for Earth's environment, harmed by sunlight, a strong dislike for naturally occurring foods, ridiculously high rates of chronic disease, and more. Dr. Ellis concluded that mankind did not come from that particular strain of life, but evolved elsewhere and was transported to Earth. As fully evolved Homo sapiens between 60,000 and 200,000 years ago,